Okay, we're standing here with Harry Levant. And Harry, you're from the, just get the name right, from the Homeowners Association just north of here. Please tell us the name of it.
Sure, Lakeshore Highlands Heritage Hills Residents Association. We're between Okanagan Falls and Penticton on the east side of Skaha Lake.
Gotcha. And you are part of this riding, Boundary Similkameen, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what brings you here today? What concerns do you share with the Hoovers and everyone else, all the farmers here today?
Well, the concerns that we have, of course, are the poor functioning of our utility system that is putting many people at a serious disadvantage because they can't afford it. And also many people who are experiencing substantial loss in the value of their properties because of the locations of the power lines, and in the bigger picture because of the much higher rates and the lack of sensitivity on Fortis's behalf as to where they put their power lines and the amount of money they're spending to do it. It's hurting the overall economy of the Okanagan, of the South Okanagan, and you can see that by walking down the main streets of many communities these days. And
yeah, not a good time to be hitting the economy with anything like this, anything out of the ordinary, like you say, high tension power lines or the rate increases. Not a good time right now in BC to be hitting British Columbians.
Well, no. A public utility, the function of a public utility is simply to distribute power at fair prices to the population, not to excessively profit from it. If there is excessive profit, which is in fact happening even at the BC Hydro level, but through the couple of public-private partnerships they have with power companies like Fortis, when this does happen, it's very detrimental to the economy. And the little bit that these people gain, or not the little bit, the considerable amount these people gain, which goes directly out to shareholders and leaves the community, does a significant amount of damage to the community if it's not managed properly, and at these points in time, it's not being managed properly. Creates
sort of an unfair imbalance in the market, really.
Right, yeah, it creates an unfair imbalance. One party's making the money and making excessive amounts of money to the detriment of the substantially larger part of the entire economy, and it's not good.
Harry, and one other question. So the sentiment, the excuse we're being given as British Columbians is, well, you got to learn to conserve power. Let me just ask you, as a homeowner, are you in the business of wasting power? Do you need to learn to conserve power, Harry?
Well, not particularly. I think everybody wants to keep their monthly living bills down. I might add, and that this is an entire fallacy, certainly as far as Fortis is concerned. The actual power consumption over the last 6 years, between 2006 and 2012, hasn't gone up at all. I think it's gone up by less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
While their revenues have increased over that same time period by 36%, their profits have increased by 85%, and to add injury to insult, the number of customers that consume the power, number of outlets, have dropped from 151,000 to 113, and they're still building infrastructure like there's no tomorrow. We don't need it at this point. There's fewer people having to pay for way more expensive power, and now there's people that can't afford to eat. They can't afford their food.
So there's less people hooked up to power. As you just said, we're all conserving power. Right. So it's almost as if they realize, holy smokes, we got to find a way to make money, and they're just, I don't know, milking us.
Well, milking's the right word. They're actually duping us with the concept of power conservation. These people need to learn profit conservation. They need to stop ruining the economy and taking so much money out of people's pockets, so people like senior citizens and people who are less disadvantaged have to forego things like food and heat and clothing, the basic necessities of life, to pay the power bill. And Fortis couldn't care less. They just simply want to make more money every year like a big greedy machine, and ultimately it's going to implode their market because the people that they're charging can't afford their service.
Can't afford it and aren't going to take it forever.
Well, and aren't going to take it, yeah.
Okay, you should run for politics. Here I am, I'm running, I'm a young guy, I don't have as much experience. You should run for mayor or RDRS or be the MP for this area.
Well, thank you for your support, but you know, I'm quite busy, but I'm really happy to help and provide my expertise where I can. So
Harry, it is good to have you on our side in this effort. That's Harry Levant, and if I'm not mistaken, you're CGA accounting.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
CGA. I don't use that term anymore, but I was for 40 years or so.
Okay, but that I already said last point, but this would be the last point. You're not the kind of guy who gets the wool pulled over his eyes when he opens his power bill. Fair enough?
Well, even beyond that, the wool pulled over my eyes when I read Fortis financial statements and information.
Sure, more to the point. Yeah, I guess you can look at much more data than just your own power bills. But yeah,
what's happening is the people that are opening their power bills are wondering why and what's going on, and I certainly can confirm that they have serious concerns. So.
Aha, from your professional background, even though you're retired, you would say professionally, this ain't in anyone's imagination.
No, this is very much for real, and the activities that and how this power company and the utility services are being managed, most certainly in our area, are highly detrimental to the economy now, and they're going to get worse as they build more infrastructure we don't need, and they pass along higher and higher charges that people can no longer afford. This is going entirely the wrong direction from a policy standpoint and from the Main Street standpoint.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's Harry Levant. Sometimes you can't get guys to run for politics, but you're just glad they're on your side. Thank you very much, Harry.
Thanks, Mischa.